I'll tell this story as I remember it. Please forgive me if things sound confusing. I'm still not sure what's real and what isn't. I'll change the names to preserve the people involved. My college friends and I used to go on yearly camping trips to keep in touch. Henry's family had a property by the Ozark Lakes. We would meet there shortly after Christmas, have breakfast with his parents, and leave our cars at the property while we hiked into the woods. I wish I could say we were tough hunters and survivalists, armed to the teeth and ready to brave the weather if needed. Maybe this story wouldn't exist if that was the case. We were just friends who liked to spend some time away from civilization when possible. Not to say that we were completely clueless, though. We'd set up camp after about a half-hour jog on a clearing. We'd keep society reachable, even if invisible. I wish I could say I noticed something was off as soon as it got there, but I didn't. Remembering it, though, we should have returned as soon as we arrived. I don't know if it would have worked, but trying wouldn't hurt. As soon as we went into the woods, it felt as if we had entered a bubble in time. It was silent, as if the forest held its breath. The only thing I remember hearing to this day was the smooth but incessant whispering of the wind. It touched my face and hurt my eyes, coming from the direction of the clearing. We also got there a lot sooner than usual. We set up camp and cracked open a few beers. We sat and talked about how things were going at work, how things were going at home, and if any of us had any luck with women recently. Henry was unusually quiet. He seemed to avoid sharing anything with us. Whenever we encouraged him to talk, he would tell us a story we'd already shared in past trips. I suppose there was something wrong, but he was trying to keep his cool, so I didn't pressure him into talking. All seemed well all day long. At night, Victor played for us as we sang campfire songs together. Most of us, at least. Matt's beers had already put him to sleep by then. We kept drinking, singing, and just having a good time until I went to my tent. Henry woke me up early in the morning. It was still dark. He seemed scared. I saw Victor by the clearing's edge, kneeling into the ground, dangerously close to a tree. I walked out of my tent and shouted for Victor to come back. I feared he might fall inside a tree well. That's when he told me that was exactly what he was looking for. They couldn't find Matt anywhere. They thought he may have gotten up to take a leak and fallen into one, or maybe he had wandered away, drunk as a skunk. I suggested we called search and rescue, but we had no signal. So we decided that I would run back to Henry's property to get help while they stayed and looked for Matt close to the clearing. I packed some of my stuff and left. The next thing I remember is looking straight at a group of strong lights. Then exhaustion fell over me like a ton of bricks. I fell face first in the snow while people with flashlights ran towards me. Something hit the ground by my side. It was Matt. I woke up in the hospital. Frostbite had taken my left pinky and ring finger, so they had to cut them off to save my hand. Maybe I had gotten lost in the trail and lost track of time. A pair of comprehensive but suspicious men came and asked me everything I remembered, so I told them the same story I told you now. They asked me to try harder to remember, that confusion was normal in cases like this, and that any real information could help them find my friend. I told them I remembered Matt by my side, and asked them if that was me being confused again. They told me Matt was not missing, so I asked them if the missing one was Henry or Victor. They looked at each other and told me to recount everything I knew about Victor. I told them about being on the same class as him. I had met Victor when we were put on the same group for a college assignment, the same group that went to the camping trips with us. I recounted many experiences we had shared during and after college. They asked me about his looks, and I froze. I remembered him being there since day one, but I couldn't say a single thing about how he looked like. I pictured the group, and there was a void in his place. I thought of him by the tree, and that was all I could see. The treetop coming out of the snow. That had to be the trauma. I asked them if Henry remembered anything after I left. Maybe that could help find him. They told me Henry was missing. Victor didn't exist. Matt had told them the exact same story, down to the smallest details, with the exception that in his version, I was the one who had gotten too drunk and gone missing, and he was the one who went back to find me. We were both wrong about something else. We had been missing for 9 days. Of course, once it was clear we had recovered and we still kept our versions, Matt and I became top suspects in Henry's disappearance case. They put us through lie detectors and facial expression specialists. and all concluded we believed what we said, so there was not enough evidence to use against us. They never found Henry, nor any trace of our camp. His parents still reach out to us, begging us to remember things differently, but we don't. Not even after seeing that Victor's car wasn't there, that he didn't appear in any of our group pictures, and that there was no Victor on our college classes. Someone once told me that in near-death experiences, when our survival instincts kick in and we act without even thinking, some people hallucinate a person who wasn't there, who helps them or guides them on their way to safety. Maybe it was as simple as hallucinating Victor telling us to find civilization. Perhaps we had a guardian angel. I wish I could believe that. Thank you for venturing into Obscura Scrolls. If you wish to keep updated with our latest findings, don't forget to like and subscribe so YouTube knows you're one of us. If you have intel on Genesis Obscura or anomalies for the Legendarium, let us know in the comments below. Stay vigilant, stay safe.